Gary Trent Jr. has really emerged and broken out in the NBA in the last 12 months, having a very good time in the bubble for the Portland Trail Blazers, as well as a starter for them last year when CJ McCollum was out for injury, and had some very promising moments with the Toronto Raptors as well before he went down with an injury. Moving into next year, it looks to be the first time in his career he will be a projected starter to begin the season. And because of that, I want to talk about what I think Gary Trent Jr. could do next year as someone who we must remember is still only 22 years of age, a former second-round pick, 3 years in the league with continued improvement year on year, and will look to continue that improvement next year after getting his big payday on a 3-year deal at about $18 million a year this offseason. So, with that being said, Gary Trent Jr. has taken leaps and bounds each season. As I mentioned, he started at 2.7 points per game, only playing 15 games, then 8.9 on 61 and 8 starts, and then last year at 15.3, playing 58 games with 38 starts. Now, his efficiency did drop a little bit last year for sure, but it was, of course, increased role. It was an increased role that he kind of got thrown into, and he did fine. Now, his efficiency definitely wasn't ideal, but his three-point shooting was still very effective. It was 38.5% from deep. It's the non-three-point shooting of Gary Trent's offensive game that definitely needs to improve. He is a good shot creator. He's a very good catch-and-shoot three, but his mid-range shot creation and his finishing at the rim definitely needs improvement. I think that's the biggest part of his game he will now look to improve on the offensive end. He's definitely not a great playmaker either, but he is your two guard. He's going to be a scorer. He's going to be that shot maker, shot creator for this Toronto Raptors team. So him as a creator is probably not what he will focus on. He just needs to focus on expanding his scoring on someone who is already a fairly good scorer, averaging a bit of 15 points a game last season. I think his three-point shooting is going to continue to go well. I think the biggest thing is just seeing that improvement in his finishing at the rim and his mid-range game, which I think we will start to see a little bit more this year. And as the season moves along, he's going to have a fairly significant role on this Toronto Raptors team, as there's not any true number one guy as a shot maker and shot creator. Siakam will do it a bit. OG Anunoby, if he continues his development path, will do it a bit. Van Fleet will do it a bit, but there isn't a true number one guy. And Gary Trent had some big buckets on shot creating makes in his time with Toronto that was very limited last season. So if he can continue to do that, then he is definitely going to emerge as that guy for them. Someone who will play 30 plus minutes a night for them. You know, for sure. He is a solid on-ball perimeter defender. Will guard some of the team's best guards that we will play. Fred VanVleet is also a very solid guard defensively. So it's a very good scenario for the Toronto Raptors, but I expect Gary Trent to be a solid defensive guard on ball next year. As I mentioned, his three-point shooting is going to be good. The playmaking, I don't ever expect is going to be great for him. But I think it's just going to be improving his handle a little bit, improving his mid-range, improving his finishing at the rim. Because I think this is a guy who has the potential to average 20 a night in this league, no doubt about it, especially in the right scenario. If he was on a crappy team right now, he would definitely average 20 a night. But even on a team like the Toronto Raptors, I think he has that upside. He still is very young and continues to put in the work and improve year after year. He's shown that through the first 3 years of his NBA career, and I don't doubt that he will do the same thing next year. I would expect next year his efficiency will improve, and we will see him average close to 20 points per game and start to see some improvements towards the back end of the year in his mid-range game and his finishing at the rim. I am very excited to see what the future is for Gary Trent Jr., but let me know down in the comments section what you guys think Gary Trent Jr. will do next season for the Toronto Raptors and if his contract will pay off. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you want to hear my thoughts on other players into next season and how they could impact their respective teams, then be sure to click the box on the right hand side of the screen. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one.